So the first new player in the format that we're going to touch tonight is this Gruul Werewolves list by PVDDR, the world champion. We have a lot of old cards from the previous set that we're already used to seeing. So we have three copies of Ranger class in the main, 4 copies of Werewolf Pack Leader, of course, 4 copies of Azeka's Chariot, which is just one of the bombs of the format. You're finding it in pretty much every deck that's seeing any serious play right now. But we also have the werewolf package that we got from the new Innistrad set. So let's take a look at some of these werewolves. We have Tovolar Dire Overlord, which is basically a card advantage engine. Whenever a werewolf or a wolf token hits your opponent, you get to draw a card off of it, and it's a way to transform your werewolves into bigger threats. So we really want this. We really want the board to be in the night state for as much of the game as possible, because all of our werewolves get significantly better at night. Other werewolves we have include the Kessig Naturalist, which is kind of a ramp spell. Whenever we get to attack with it, we get to create a red or green mana, so it serves as a ramp spell that way. And at night, it turns into a Lord with the same ability. So there's a lot of tension around wanting to play an aggressive deck with werewolves and keep your board state to the point where it's pressuring your opponent, but also not casting so many spells that it turns from night to day. So managing the day-night cycle is important with the deck. One of the ways that we have to do that is just our curve. So we have a pretty clunky curve. We have a few... on turn 2, we're only going to be able to cast 2 spells. On turn 3, we're probably only going to be able to cast 1 spell. On turn 4, we're probably going to be able to cast only up to 2 if we want, but probably just the 1. So that's why there's no 1-drops in the deck, because it's hard to maintain the day-night cycle to your advantage when you only have when you have 1-drops in your deck that need to be played. Also, we have Unnatural Moonrise, which is a sorcery that turns it to night, which can be pretty sweet. And when that happens, we also get a boost to each creature. We get to draw a card when that creature hits the opponent, and it gets a pump of +1/+0. It's kind of cool how much this deck has, how much game this has against control. So normally you have these aggro decks, they're very vulnerable to sweepers, but this deck has obviously Azeka's Chariot, which is great against control. It's hard for the opponent to remove it with something like a board wipe, and it becomes a hasty threat the turn after they wipe the board if you can put 4 power in play. I also have Arlen, who at night is basically a Hazoret with no downside. You play her, you can activate her for 0, and she becomes a 5/5 creature with trample, indestructible, and haste. It's very difficult for the opponent to deal with. And she's not so bad to cast during the day either. So you can play her +1, flash in your creatures on your opponent's turn, and then have it be night on a future turn because you didn't cast any spells. And then those will instantly be werewolves instead of their, like, crappier human sides. So I'm pretty interested to see how this deck does. Let's jump into the standard queue. I promise you I am going to screw up the day-night mechanic at least once or twice in this video. I don't have high hopes for my own ability to play the deck, but we'll see if it's strong enough to just bail me out when I screw up. Up against Wada. Being on the play, of course, is like the most important thing you can do with this deck. This is, like, fine-ish. I certainly think we have to keep it. Outland Liberator is a relevant threat in the format because if we're up against an opponent who has a Azeka's Chariot, this can actually deal with it. It can also deal with opposing Ranger classes. My worry is that we'll have a difficult time putting pressure on the opponent, but if we draw any 3-drop, I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay, so we're up against some kind of control deck. We did draw our tap land, which is kind of inconvenient, but we're just going to play this out. Hopefully, the opponent's control deck is going to have a hard time dealing with a Planeswalker. This looks like mono black control, which we may have a hard time pushing through. So what are we worried about out of the opponent here? We're definitely concerned about board wipes. So I think we have an option, right? We can either play the Stormseeker this turn, pump, and get in with both. We'll hit him for 3. Alternatively, we can just attack, say go, have it turn to night, and basically lightning bolt something next turn, and then play Arlen the following turn. I think I just like being as aggressive as possible. and see what they do. Opponent fetched environmental sciences. They may be hurting for lands. Hey, Evil Empire. Good to see you. It's been a little while. How have you been? So we would love it if it were night here and we could get Arlen into play. But... holy shit. 8 clicks. 20 tier 1 subs. Probably more people than have seen me play Magic in the last, like, few weeks. Thank you very much for the subs. I appreciate it. How are you doing? It's good to see you. And also, what are we doing here? So we can play Arlen. We can make a couple creature tokens. That does play right into a board wipe. Wow, that's... okay, we can also just turn it to night and get in. And then we'll be able to bolt something next turn. We can even bolt something this turn if we do that. So I think I like this more. We also get to draw a card as well, which is pretty sweet. So let's make it night. And are we going to bolt this Shambling Ghast? If we cast the slash now, then it won't be night next turn. So I think actually we're just gonna we'll put the extra points on the trampling creature, and I think we'll bolt something on their turn, to try to keep it night for as long as possible, and then we'll be able to get a hasty Arlen into play. And we get to draw a card off the slasher. Unfortunately, it's just another land. Doesn't it give trample 2 at night? Does what give trample? Yes, the slasher does. All right, so this is not like great. This plays around our lightning bolt pretty effectively. But Arlen will hopefully be an inconvenience for them. So we can bolt the Ghast. They can sack it in response, draw a card, and we're hopefully just going to try to kill them. We can also just go face, realistically. Hey, Hassel. So you saw me on Nerd Girl's channel. Thanks for that. I appreciate the your kind words. It's good to see you here, too. Alright, so they didn't sack it in response, which is pretty frightening. So this is our slow land. I don't see anything to play around here. Let's just go. Okay. And we'll pump this up to the point where it tramples through the merchant, I think. We do have to be concerned about, oh, this doesn't have trample anymore because it's day. That sucks. We do have to push some damage here. We have to be worried about blood on the snow out of the opponent, too. Right now, they're not getting anything back that's too inspiring. I think... What is this? Okay, so this is like a board wipe, right? There's no reason to do this otherwise. We'll double block. Actually, we shouldn't double block, right? Yeah, that sucks. This is blood on the snow, right? They're gonna get the merchant back now instead. Okay, so this is a bit of a punt. Yeah, I should have only blocked with the 1 wolf token, because now instead of getting a ghast back, they get the merchant, which sucks. However, we can make it night, and we can attack with Arlen, which will be pretty sweet. Right? Yeah, let's make it night. Oh. This kind of sucks. Because we can't make Arlen a creature first. Okay, well, what are you gonna do? Let's, I guess, play this. Oh, no, this is still fine. This will turn into the Werewolf Lord when it comes to night. Like how much I explained. Yeah, I try to make this channel that kind of content. I want to play a bunch of decks in different formats and have people learn basically from my screw-ups, because there will be a lot of them. We lost the day-night cycle again, unfortunately, because we played 2 spells that turn too. It's kind of frustrating. So now we lose Arlen as well. Oh my god, is that another 20 subs? Jesus. Thank you, Clicks. I don't know what to say. That's pretty incredible. If you guys got a gifted sub from Clicks, make sure to show him some love. I guess we're just playing this. I think we're pretty hosed. Alright, opponent has no fear whatsoever. Plussing Professor Onyx. And I think we're happy to just scoop to almost anything at this point. I was going to say we're not blocking. We can't. It has Menace anyway, but we wouldn't even if we could. Opponent did not attack with the Faceless Haven. Okay. I mean, that wasn't really all that inspiring a play, was it? But regardless, I think we're pretty dead. So let's see what we can do in the sideboarding here. So we want Snakeskin Veil, pretty sure, because they're going to have a bunch of targeted removal spells, which that seems pretty good against. Ranger class is also pretty effective against the control strategies. I don't know how we feel about, like, Huntmaster. I feel like it's just not all that great against the black-based control decks. Against, like, red, it's a house. And if you get it down in its transformed form, the 7 toughness actually gets it above Burning Hands as well, which is like a premium removal spell in the format. Do we want Ren in 7? I guess we need to decide what else we want. What we don't want in our deck. And I feel like the slashes are pretty poor. Like, just the random burn spells aren't good, especially when we found it so hard, or at least I found it so hard to maintain the night cycle in that game. So maybe this is it. Maybe we want to have some planeswalkers that are going to be more difficult for control to deal with. That said, like, at the same time, on turn 5 on the play, do we really want to be at the point where we're casting Ren and 7 instead of just, like, killing them? If this game goes longer than 5 turns, how likely are we to win realistically? I don't know. I think maybe on the draw we're happier with Ren and 7. No, that seems crazy. We'll try this. I'm your best of 3 constructed guy. Those are some big shoes to fill. There are a lot of good best of 3 constructed guys out there, but thank you for saying so. MTG Nerd Girl, you're here too. Wow, welcome to the stream. Everyone is here. Thank you for coming out. I missed you all. So we've got 2 Ranger classes, which will be pretty difficult for the opponent to deal with. We've got Werewolf Pack Leader. The mana is slightly awkward. We can't play our red source tapped on 1, or we won't be able to play the Pack Leader on 2 if that's what we decide we want to do. I think I'm happier to play the Pack Leader on 3 and have Snakeskin Veil available if we draw a green source. I don't think our life total matters. I think we have the luxury of waiting to decide on our red source. I'm just going to play the green land and say go. I am growing. And also on Twitch. Alright, Shambling Ghast is irritating. Let's go ahead and get the Forest into play. Play the Ranger class. Oh my god, Clicks. I think that's 60 subs from Clicks on the day. That's amazing. I have nothing more I can say. You've exhausted my supply of compliments and thank yous and everything. All right, so unfortunately we've reached the Doomsday scenario. We can't play Pack Leader and hold up Snakeskin Veil. We just don't have the mana to support it. I don't really think I want to pump the Ranger class here, do I? That plays so badly around targeted removal, but although I suppose if it does, then we have the Snakeskin Veil available. Here I think we're just attacking. I'm not sure this is right. And if they want to trade the gas with the 2/2, I think we're kind of okay with that. If we want. Okay, let's do this. And if they try to kill the 2/2, we can actually Snakeskin Veil in response if we want. This is acceptable as well. This is fine. So they're going to make a treasure. I was toying with the idea of Snakeskin Veiling in response to the -1/-1 trigger. I'm not sure that that's right, but it was an option that we had. And now there's still a couple turns off of Blood on the Snow. I really, really want to have the ability to protect this pack leader with the Snakeskin Veil. But if I play it now, then pumping the Ranger class next turn allows me to get in with enough damage to draw a card. That seems really optimistic, though, doesn't it? Like, what are the odds they don't have any removal in hand? Alright. Let's play another Ranger class. Get 2 power on the field that way. And hold up the Veil. I feel like this matchup has got to be like the worst possible one. That's annoying. So they're going to take our pack leader. They're also going to see the Snakeskin Veil, which is inconvenient. And they're Shambling Ghast. Oh yeah. Some Starbucks. I know that's your favorite. This isn't so bad, right? Like, we can actually just kill both of these things and get in. We do have to take down the Snakeskin Veil shields, but I think the most likely thing out of them is probably Blood on the Snow anyway. So shields are down. They also did play those 2 creatures into the smashing. So they obviously have a plan. Lolth is annoying. Like, this is a nightmare. They're just so good at putting crap in front of us that we can't get through. I have horrible taste. Well, at least I have this awesome t-shirt. Check that out. What do you guys think of the Kirby t-shirt? What do we want here? What do we want to do? We can throw everything at Lolth, trade off our board. That seems really bad. Not round enough? The Kirby's not round enough for you? Are we just playing another Ranger class? Like, I definitely want to pump one of these things. I don't want to kill Lolth either, because I'm so sure that one of these things is Blood on the Snow. Like, this is a disaster. Alright, I'm going to pump one of these Ranger classes. I don't want to commit, like, a ton to the board at this point. In fact, yeah, I think what we do is actually we pump both of these, hold up Snakeskin Veil. And let's just go face, because I don't want Lolth to die, and there's a chance they actually do. New Kirby? Sure, yeah. That was a gift from a fan. I think it's pretty sweet. I have no idea what it actually says, but I think it's pretty cool looking. The DGen content creators are awesome. The community is like nothing I've seen before. Well, you are a big part of that community, Click, so you are just as responsible for that as anyone else. Thank you very much. So opponents probably got some interesting decisions to make here. Unfortunately, like, they're all probably seriously bad for us. Yeah, okay. Sure. Gonna have to kick me out for that cup. No! Come on, guys. Convince the boss to keep me around. Don't tell her I haven't streamed in like a week and a half. All right, Valky's back. It has been a week. It's hard to believe. I don't know how we ever get through this. This is just so frustrating. Like, I guess. I guess it's our one. And we'll make the tokens and hope for the best. I should hide the Starbucks stuff in sippy cups. There you go. Yeah, it's definitely a 2-coffee kind of day. I've been on call for work. It's been a very crazy few days. Sure. What do you know? It's more crap to put in front of us. How do we ever, like, deal combat damage ever again? So... Sure. Why not? Why not another 20 subs? Sure, you got it. I think that's... is that 100 on the day, or is it just 80? Oh, Jesus, clicks, that's amazing. Definitely feeling welcome back. I think we're starting by pumping Ranger class and seeing what's on top of the deck. And then maybe we get to flash something with R1, turn it to night. And of course, it's not a creature on top. Yeah. Okay, well, at least we can plus R1, play the Ranger class. That Ranger class token will enter with an extra +1/+1 counter on it, and then we can attack, pump these two. We're getting somewhere. Again, I don't want to attack Lolth. Although at this point, they can kill her themselves if that's what they want to do, and make the tokens. I'm still going face. Good streamer, bad coffee. That should be like the that should be like my Twitter bio or something. All right. No blocks. That's kind of frightening in its own way. Okay. Okay. So that probably means no board wipe, right? You wouldn't kill the token if you had a board wipe ready. Yeah, so our one's gonna die. It was gonna be hard to prevent that anyway. But we do have like a pumped up Ranger class that we can use to get some gas off the top. That is for exactly 3, but we get the pack leader back this way. Like, this is kind of okay. Maybe we find a way here. Maybe we can get through. You feel like this must have come off the top with Lolth, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have killed our creature with the Infernal Grasp. They fetch Pest Summoning. Alright, let's start with the free spell, because why not? And... I don't have any way to give anything haste. I think now's the time to... Well, we can't even... That tap was pretty bad, actually, come to think of it, because now we can't play the Werewolf Pack Leader and hold up Snakeskin Veil, which is really annoying. Whatever. Let's just go. They have 6 cards in hand. 5 of them are probably removal. This is why we brought in the Ranger classes. They do give us some game when we reach this point. We kind of hoped we wouldn't. Alright, so this is greatest power, so we get to choose. Which one do we want to keep? I think Tovalar is just better than the pack leader, which is like a bizarre thing to say. But it draws us cards. I'm fine sacking the Werewolf Pack Leader here. Harambe with 5 more gifted subs. Thank you, guys. Oh, man. Okay. So we have... This is going to be a turn. Let's play this off the top. We can make it night. And how are we going to want to attack here? This is going to be a 4/4, which we can give trample to go face, and we can attack. Actually, we're just going all in face, I think. And these both have trample, so it doesn't really matter where we put these too much. Holy crap! Yeah, that was just lethal, wasn't it? Sweet. All right. Somehow we got there. That did not feel good for most of the time. So we've got... do we want to change anything on the draw versus being on the play? The only thing I can think to change here is like whether or not I want to keep the 1 Ren and 7 in. And like realistically, if I bring out the Ren and 7, what am I bringing in? Like a Moonrager Slash? I think I'm fine with this. I'm not in love with the card in the matchup. I just don't think there's anything better in the sideboard to bring in. Pyre for taking care of Lolth. The problem is they have blood on the snow, so like half the time they want Lolth to die anyway. I think the way we beat Lolth is just by trampling through the crap that she makes. This hand is awkward, but if we draw red, we're pretty happy. And we are on the draw, so we're actually fairly likely to do that. And failing that, we have Ranger Class and Pack Leader. So I think we're keeping this. I Twitch, sure. Courtesy tap. Okay, we found the red. Does that mean we want to play it this turn? So we have 3 choices, right? We could either play the Ranger Class, the Pack Leader, or the Naturalist. The Naturalist is the ramp spell. And it's like the thing I'm least sad if they kill. If I play the Ranger Class next turn, we can pump the Ranger Class and attack with something. I think I like the Naturalist. It's the highest upside play. Also, putting a Daybound creature in play early can be relevant to get it to night as quickly as possible, because this forces the opponent to do something on, well, it still does. Opponent has to do something on their turn, otherwise it becomes night. Okay. So they have a bunch of crap on the board again, which they're pretty good at doing. I don't really think there's a reason here to do anything but make the most mana efficient play possible. They have to do something or it becomes night. And we have 2 cards in our hand that are actually pretty good against their control-y stuff, Chariot and Ranger's Class. Okay, so it's not going to become night, but we are getting to untap with something, which is pretty sweet. So we can play the Chariot. Night clicks. Appreciate that. Have a good night. So they have so much crap on the board that, like, I feel like Blood on the Snow isn't actually all that threatening. Plus, Lolth is on 1, so they won't be getting anything super good back. I'm going to play Pack Leader and Ranger Class. We're going to extend into this board, I think. And this gives us the 3 wolves and werewolves that we need to turn it to night next turn on our upkeep. So opponent does need to do something. Are we attacking? I think for that reason we're not. All right, see you, new girl. Have a good stream. Sure. And now that Nerd Girl's gone, you can give me another 20 subs. Um, yeah, yeah. That's a thing you can do. Those are buttons you can click. Thank you, man. Again. What do we do? What do we do? It's hard to focus with that. I think we start with an attack, right? No, we don't. We play this. We play the Storm Seeker. We play the pack leader, and we attack with everything. Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed any subs in there. Clicks just sort of took over the Clicks just sort of took over the entire feed. All right, so we want to attack with both of these pack leaders so that we can get the triggers that we want. Is there a reason to attack with this 2/2? Yeah, I guess there is. We'll just go face. We have to draw 2 cards off this. We have a Ranger class in play. We have a Chariot. Chariot with Stormseeker in play is absolutely insane, by the way. So like next turn, if we rip land off the top, we get to play Ranger class, play Chariot, haste up the Chariot, and get in and make a copy of the tokens. All right, so what are these blocks? Who are you blocking? You're blocking this one. Is there a way to keep the eye twitch alive? No, there's not. Everything dies, right? So they gave up their whole board. They didn't even sack anything to the merchant, which is... So that makes me think that they don't have a board wipe, right? Because they could have just sacked something, taken the same amount of damage, and then untapped and wiped the board next turn. But like instead they chose not to do that, in the interest of killing the pack leader. We did not find the land that we wanted. Yeah, they get to make more spiders, sure. So now we get to play Chariot, and we have Snakeskin Veil available afterwards, which is like not the worst. And now I think we're happy to attack with both the pack leader and the Chariot. So we can attack with the Chariot. Do we want to attack with the pack leader? Just cycle it, draw a card. I don't think so. I think we're fine just attacking with the Chariot, going a little wider. Okay, there's another thing you wouldn't do if you had the board wipe, right? So I think this is fine. Yep, they can refuel Lulth. But we are getting wider. Okay. I really, really want it to become night. Or, well, actually, it just became night. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's just play our spells, I guess? If I play this, then it's not night anymore. So maybe I just want to pump with the Rangers class instead. So we're definitely going face here. Realistically, I think I like attacking with everything. They can power up the Faceless Haven. All of these traits are good except for the 2/2s. Yeah, maybe we hold back the 2/2s. I think everything else is kind of fine for us. And And we can pump this to put it out of range of the Faceless Haven, should they try to block with that. Yeah, I think I like it. We get to draw the card off the pack leader, too. Okay. They're not activating the Faceless Haven to block, either. Well, they've seen a ton of cards, and they're going to keep seeing more and more. And they don't feel like they're under enough pressure that they need to, like, super chump block everything. So, I feel like we're getting Wrathed here. Which, as we saw, is, like, not the end of the world. Like, we've drawn a ton of cards off this board state. And I'm going to try to bluff the Snakeskin Veil as well, for whatever that's worth. Okay. Well, in a game that I paid almost zero attention to, because I think I got like 150 gifted subs or something, we somehow found a way to get there. I'm sure I played that badly, but it doesn't matter. Win anyway. 1-0. Let's keep going. I really don't know how we won that game. That matchup feels like the stone cold worst matchup we could possibly have. But, got there. I don't think we can keep this. If we don't draw red exactly, the hand does nothing. It's not like those other hands where we had, like, a playable 2-drop and needed red to cast other stuff eventually. Like, this is just a little too bad. I think we have to mull this. Better. Okay. Definitely keeping. I think it's the Moonrise, right? Like, what's our play here? We're going to play the Naturalist on 2, probably. And then on turn 3, if we get to attack with it, we'll have possibly 4 mana available for the Chariot. Maybe it's the Tovolar? No, it's the Moonrise. Tovolar is basically Moonrise on a stick. And I think we have to lead with this to be able to make sure that we actually cast something on turn 2. Delver. Okay. So we're up against like a spells deck, probably facing some significant removal. Let's just play the Naturalist because I want the pack leader to live. Also, there's some chance that we draw. I was gonna say there's some chance we draw Snakeskin Veil, but there's no way to cast pack leader and protect it with Snakeskin Veil the following turn. Okay, they flipped Delver on 1, which is pretty much exactly what they wanted to do. We're gonna make the most mana efficient play. They reveal Hagra-Mauling as well. Another Delver. Okay, so this is like... This feels like kind of their nut draw. Okay, we'll just attack. We're blocking. Okay. Okay. I don't know what in God's name we're up against. But I hope it means we have a good matchup against it, because Gruul usually smashes this kind of stuff. So what do we want to do, right? We can either play the Chariot to play around, like, Crippling Fear or something that the opponent might have, or we can just play both creatures and try to get them dead. I think I like the Chariot more. Like, much more. Because now, suppose they, like, rat the board and kill our cats, we can play both of these next turn and crew the Chariot and attack with it. Whereas if we play these out and we get Wrath, then we play Chariot, have 2 cats, and then have nothing. No attacks, alright. So we can animate the Chariot if we want. It will die to the Hagra-Mauling. We won't even get to attack with it. So that's kind of sad. It is now night. So these things get better. I also really only want to play one spell this turn because I want it to stay night. Force the mauling on the pack leader. Like, playing the pack leader doesn't force anything. And I don't think this is their only removal spell. And if anything, we do that after combat, right? The question is, like, if I play both of these spells, then it becomes daytime and our creatures get significantly worse. But maybe that's fine. But we're also, like, pretty sure that this deck we're up against is running some sort of crippling fear. So keeping it night and keeping this 4 toughness is actually kind of relevant. I'm just going to play the Stormseeker. And we'll force a tough choice for them, right? Because if we'll give this haste, and if they kill it in response, then we can crew the chariot. Like, if they let us declare attacks here, I think we're pretty happy. Yeah, sure. This is great. And now, if either of these werewolves deal damage, then we draw a card if they don't kill this right away. Yeah, great. And now they just take 9 with a chariot in play. And it's still night. Like, this is great. And now, if they wrath our board somehow, we get to cast both of these and crew the chariot and attack. They're attacking, though. They feel pretty safe. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Realistically. Alright, I'm going to lead with this. We're going to cast our 2 spells here. And we're going to play the pack leader, because I want to give it haste with the slasher and attack with it. It's going to be day, but we're going to get in so much damage here, it's ridiculous. Right? Sure. This is kind of fine, too. So now we can attack with everything to make a copy of the 2/2. I suppose there is some chance that we're just dead. Like, there could be some sort of Plumb the Forbidden sequence here that kills us. But even if they deal with our entire board, we have another chariot. Okay, so are we dead to Plumb the Forbidden here? It's going to be close. I'm not going to do the math. That's for the opponent to do. But we're going to try. Chariot it up. I'm not even doing the math. We're going. Upstairs. And also cast this Ranger class was pretty sweet. Sure. Okay. Why not use mana to pump the pack leader for trample? Because this gets in more damage, right? Like, we got to attack with 2 more cats than we otherwise would have been able to. Like, these 2 cats wouldn't exist if I hadn't played the chariot instead. Sweet. Okay, so Dimir Delver stuff. Feels a lot like the last one did. Snakeskin Veil seems good. Ranger class seems reasonable. I think Ren and 7 is even worse. And the removal spells are, like, actually okay against the Delver Sedgemoor Witchy deck. We don't really interact with them all that well. I don't think I want Burn Down the House. I'm not sure that belongs. Is there anything here that's, like, particularly bad? Not really. I think, like, the kill spells are probably among the worst, but, like, I also do want to have some answers to their witches. Trample is, like, super important. I want to keep everything that gives trample. I do feel like this is just, like, the worst card in the deck right now. Like, everything else feels kind of important. Yeah. Maybe we can get rid of one of these and keep one of the slashes in, because we do want an answer to Delver. I'm going to try this. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Arlen is probably one of our best creatures against them. Unless they, like, will turn one Delver and immediately flip it, and then she kind of sucks. Okay, so they didn't reveal Instant or Sorcery there. Attacking against the Gruul deck with haste threats is interesting. Opponent's also missing black mana. They find Divide by 0, which is an annoying one, and they find their black mana, which is also annoying. Okay. And we're drawing nothing but land, which is going to make this very difficult. If they don't do anything, then it becomes night and Arlen gets in for a bunch. But they can't just divide Arlen, I suppose. Ah. Poppet Stitcher. I see, I see. This kind of sucks, realistically. Like, we can attack, like, just to cast Arlen. They might be too afraid. If they block with the Poppet Stitcher, we can actually Snakeskin Veil and then play Arlen, which was pretty sweet. Actually, I'm going to do that. I don't think they block. Wow, they block? That's nuts. And before they can divide, we're gonna throw her to the wolves. You want to attack Arlen down, go nuts. We do need to draw, like, something. That is not bad. So we can play Arlen, she gets divided by 0. But at least that prevents our wolf from getting divided by 0. I guess this plays into, like, Drawing Disruption if they have it. Maybe I should have played the land first. I definitely should have played the land first. This is fine. Environmental Sciences is whatever. If they don't play 2 spells here, it remains night, and Arlen just gets to attack again. Okay. I mean, this is also lethal by itself on the board. So they need to answer Arlen, and they need to answer the board. I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah. Sweet. Kind of had a loss why they didn't cast the Environmental Sciences. If they cast 2 spells, it's not night anymore, and they have a much better chance of getting through. They also attacked with the 3/2, which seems insane if you know that you don't have an answer for the face-up Arlen that you just bounced to my hand. So I don't know what the opponent was doing there. But in any case, 2-0. Bond Maker. Am I actually still streaming? Send a message in the chat if I'm still streaming. I'm a little... Streamlabs seems like it's kind of choking on something. Can't keep this. This is better. Think we're just pitching the Liberator. I don't know what we're up against, obviously. I am still streaming? Great. Okay. Yeah, sometimes when I'm recording this stuff for YouTube at the same time as I'm streaming it, it's, Streamlabs gets a little finicky. Okay. So opponent also mulls, which we're happy to see. If we get to attack with these pack leaders, I think we're thrilled. Okay, so Kabira Takedown is like this is the Magecraft deck that I saw. So they're probably not gonna have a whole lot of ways to answer the pack leader. We're just gonna play it. Sure. Chaplain of Alms. I haven't seen this. What is this? Flying first strike on backside. Each creature has ward 1. All right. First strike 1/1 with ward 1. Okay. So they can we can trade this for their whole board, which I'm certain they don't want to do. I'm happy to do it. Let's attack and see what they do. Like, this is the Magecraft deck, right? Their goal is to go super wide, pump their stuff. Trading their whole board for our board is not really what they want to do. So what to do here? We can play the Ranger class. We'll have a 2/2. We can pump next turn. And attack for 6 total, which will trigger the pack leader, which gets us to draw a card, which isn't bad. We can also just play pack leader. Or we can start the day-night cycle stuff. Gives us more mana next turn if they can't remove it. I think I like that the most. It does suck that we have to play the Smashing as a land here. Because this card can be just such a beating against them, but I also feel like there's no world where we win by not playing our land there. Alright, so they've gone super wide. We are in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, this is going to be tough. But I think we can do it. So I think the plan here is Ranger class. Pump. We can't actually pump the Ranger class and attack and get the pack leader trigger, which is inconvenient, to say the least. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Okay, I just want to get the pack leader in play then. And next turn we can play the Ranger class and pump. Are we attacking? If we attack with everything, they can double block the pack leader. They would have to lose their Clarion Spirit to do that. I think we're fine trading one pack leader for the Clarion Spirit plus random other things. So I'm going to attack with this. Are we attacking with this for the same reason? I think so. I'll trade both of these for the Naturalist as well. That seems fine. Right? Nah, I'll hold back the 2/2. So there's no way for them to... I suppose they could block with the Cleric and the 2/2. So maybe this attack wasn't all that great. So just chump blocking, we're pretty happy, I think. Yeah, and we're fine with them just taking the damage too. Okay. So obviously, like, their cast 2 spells a turn deck is very effective at keeping it from becoming night, which is inconvenient for our deck that wants it to be night all the time. Can we grind them to a halt with bigger creatures? Unfortunately, like, we can't, because they're going to be generating these flyers that we have to deal with. I think, like, our best path to victory involves getting a Trampler, like some mechanism to trample through them. Are we fine trading these 2 for this monk? It's only getting bigger. I mean, there's no Embercleave to keep a wide board for us around anymore. Of course, this probably isn't going to grow again. They're like so short on cards in hand. I think no blocks. Okay. I think the play here is just to cast both of these, attack with both pack leaders. Is that right? We can pump with the Ranger class, make that a little better. And then just play one of these things, probably just the Ranger class, so the next turn we can pump it as well. Okay. Sure. Come on. And this lets us draw 2 cards as well. Oh, there's our haste trample thing. We'll see how they block. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That seems awesome for us, honestly. So we just have to try to make sure that we don't die, because we have a significant amount of power coming back on the crackback, and we might just be able to kill them. That sucks. Like, a lot. They take the Ranger class, which is interesting. Now, how do they attack? Just with the 3 in the air. Okay. Okay. I think we're fine attacking like this again. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now we have the Chariot Stormseeker combo as well, which is just nuts. So if they don't kill us, like, right here, I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay. That's only one spell. So we can either A, play the Naturalist, or B, pump the Ranger class. We can't haste both the Chariot and the Naturalist anyway. So I think we're just pumping the Ranger class up here, unless it makes a difference between whether we live or die. So let's say we play the Chariot, attack with it. We're taking 2, 3, 5, 8, 10 on the crackback. We're just taking 3 in the air. Geez, maybe we can't attack here. Wouldn't that be sad? So for 3, they have 5 attackers. We have 5 blockers. I think we have to take one more turn here. All right. I will attack with the Chariot, though. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, they have this. They have the shitty creature land with flying. We are dead to that. If they see it. No, I guess not. Okay. Now we just sort of do our thing, right? Pump it up. And there's no way to live, so we're not even going to bother doing the math, right? We can pump this up to 4. There's no 1-drops to hit in the deck. We're just going. We can either pump up the Ranger class again, get an extra point in, or we can trample up the pack leader. Trampling the pack leader seems better. Oh, we actually can't do that anymore. So we're just pumping it up. Okay, Mr. Token. Upstairs. It's not night, so none of these things have trample, which is inconvenient. So we just have to spread out the damage as best we can. I don't think it matters much. I think we're dead. But I'm not doing the math. I refuse. Naturalist mana, if I hadn't pumped the Ranger class, I would have been able to pump the Werewolf, which would have been better, yes. And here, now they're taking 6, and we're dead in the air. Yeah, this is over. I don't think we had it anyway. Did we? Actually, I think we did. I think if I had used the Naturalist mana to pump the pack leader instead, we would have gotten there. What? Oh. Okay, I mathed wrong multiple times there, I guess. Okay. Sure. I mean, that's what happens when you play Gruul, right? You just sort of win. Okay, so what to do here? Against the deck full of 1-toughness creatures, I am very much thinking about burn down the house. Like, these demons that we create will just be ridiculous against them. I think that... the Ranger classes are not at their best in this matchup. Like, they're just so effectively chump blocked and outclassed. Liberator is, like, effective against any random sagas they might have, like Paladin class or Cleric class or whatever. They should have a very hard time dealing with Ren and 7, I would think. So maybe we can go a little bigger. Like, maybe they're the beatdown. And if that's the case, then we can also bring these in, too, which would be pretty nice. I think this is probably our worst card still. Now, do I want any more removal? I guess is the question. We can bring in a couple Cathartic Pyres if we think that's what we need. But then what do we bring out? I think just, like, these are so much worse against the play 2 spells every turn deck, right? Like, this is always going to be Wizard's Lightning without a Wizards in play. So maybe we're just fine like splitting the difference and bringing in 2 Pyres instead. Something like this. Sure, we'll try this. Okay, so Shadowspell Smashing is actually like a premium spell in this matchup. I think we're very happy to keep this hand. Opponent has mulled twice, it looks like. So the cast 2 spells every turn on a mull to 5 is not the same as the cast 2 spells every turn deck that has 7 cards. They're going to have a very hard time gaining traction. Slash looks bad, you've cut it in every game. So just because you cut a card in almost every matchup doesn't mean that it doesn't belong in the main deck, right? Because if your sideboard stuff is situational and super bad against like half the meta, and Slash is like fine against most of the meta, which I think it kind of is, then it can still be right to keep it in. But you're right, I haven't been inspired by the card. I think I want to be greedy and keep both of these smashings in hand. Right? Right. If I don't draw another red source, then I'll feel bad. That's annoying. Seems like a pretty good 5 into the opponent. Okay, so they pump up the monk again, I guess. We'll take 3. We're fine with that. If they don't do anything at all, it becomes knight. Play another monk. Okay, I mean... I think we're just hanging on. I don't think we're attacking. I think we're just trying to go wide. Or trying to hold on. Get these smashings to the point where they're good. When it says good game. Really? Oh boy. Hello. I want to get to the point where we're able to cast this. Alright. We're just going to smashing for 2. Because I'm not really interested in playing with our food here. I don't see how they get in the rest of the points of damage with this in play. We can also just, like, attack them for 8, but I don't think that's necessary either. Like, if they attack with the monk, then we can double block and we're fine. We also have a chariot coming. Okay. Now we get to burn down the house. Alright. And... I mean... What you got? It's kind of cute that we have the spirit token now that we can also copy with the chariot, too. Untapped land is just going to be insane here. We don't find it. But I'm content to... Yeah. We'll just kill the aspirant, play the haster. We're going to lose knight. That's okay. And next turn we get to play either the chariot or the pack leader. Possibly both. Haste one of them up. Alright, they found another apparition. So we don't get to haste anything anymore. I guess they're back in this game, kind of. That's honestly pretty good, too. Yeah, we're just attacking, right? And now, like, with the... we don't get to do anything with this mana, right? Which sucks, but what are you going to do? This is an attack for 8. Opponent has to be worried about some sort of burn spell, right? Like, they don't know that we boarded out some number of slashes. If they take all this, then it's possible they're just dead and they don't know it. So they're in a tough spot. So we can either R1 and make 2 tokens, or we can chariot and make 2 tokens plus a chariot, which seems significantly better. Oh, actually, there was also we were also threatening lethal with the werewolf pump. Now we get our 3/3. Combat's over. Right? Okay. Chariot it up. And next turn we get to attack with the chariot. We get to activate the lair. If it becomes knight, like if they don't do anything, then Arlen comes in as a haste threat. And we win. I mean, that's 3-0 with Gruul Werewolves when I was playing pretty badly. So, deck feels pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. I do think that, I do think it needs more tuning. I think that these slashes are pretty bad. And I feel like 3 Rangers classes is probably wrong. Like, I think either you want, like, none, or you want the full suite of 4. But overall, the deck is pretty gas. I think it's also probably pretty good for ranking up, too, if you guys are looking for something to get to Mythic quickly. All right, on to the next one.